Welcome to What's a Stack? As technical recruiters, every day we're asking the question of, what's your stack? And we thought, why not bring that question to life while asking some of our favourite technical friends what their stack is over a stack of pancakes in Brisbane's iconic church turned 24/7 pancake restaurant, the Pancake Manor.
Today we're meeting with Teena Glassick. Teena is the Director of Support Engineering at Skedulo. She also has a background in microbiology and biochemistry, so we're actually going to scrap today's tech questions and I'm going to ask her about photosynthesis, a concept that I learnt in Year 9 and still don't understand.
We absolutely won't be doing that. Instead, what we're going to be doing is talking to Teena about the last 12 months at Skedulo, which has included building a for-purpose product to help with COVID vaccinations in the US, as well as their Series C funding, which resulted in $75 million being raised for Skedulo. Let's go inside and talk to Teena.
Oh, we're all in the same. Oh, very cool. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy.
Well, Teena, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
And I guess to kick us off, what's your stack today?
What's my stack? So I've kind of gone a bit desserty because it's, just after lunch. So I've gone with the blueberry.
Amazing. And what is your tech stack?
Okay, so our tech stack at Skedulo, so we have a mobile application and a web application. From a mobile perspective, Swift and Kotlin. Web app front end is TypeScript and React, and then back end is Kotlin, Node.js, and some Scala as well.
Good job. Tick those all off. I guess to start off with, give us the elevator pitch of your career. So how did you get to where you are today?
Started out doing a Bachelor of Arts in Dance at the Victorian College of Arts in Melbourne. I think when I got to Melbourne, I realised that I probably wasn't going to cut it as a professional dancer. And then I decided, of all things, to enrol in a science degree. I did an honours year just in research, and then I worked in medical research for about 5 years. And then while I was working in research, I knew that if I wanted to further develop my career in that area, I would need to go and do a PhD, and wasn't really sure that I was sort of committed enough to one particular area, because once you do a PhD, you're fairly sort of locked in. And I was quite interested in that point in time in a field called bioinformatics. So I thought, I'm going to do an IT degree, and then maybe after that I'll do a research, go back to research. So yeah, I did a postgraduate IT degree, and I finished that right before sort of all the Y2K bubble. So I finished that, and there was just a mountain of jobs available. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to try my hand in a technology career. Then I think then it was quite that sort of natural progression to team lead type role. Then I moved into an engineering management role, and then I've sort of done various permutations of engineering leadership, probably for the past probably 10 plus years now. Yeah.
I'm always so impressed with people who can finish their science degree. I started my science degree.
Did you?
Yeah. But mine came out of, I think I'd been watching too much Grey's Anatomy at the time. So
you had some
was caught up in that.
Images?
Yes. But they only be a doctor. It looks
weren't quite real life. Yeah.
It's really hard.
It's really, really hard.
Yeah. So it's always really impressive. But I guess in terms of your experience in that microbiology and that sort of area, what did you learn from that experience that you were able to take? What were the transferable skills that you took through to your tech career?
Research, definitely. And that was something that I absolutely loved, and something that I really still love.
Something that's kind of spoken about in technology is the leaky pipe, and kind of how women come into the industry but unfortunately kind of exit throughout. So what that means is when they're kind of getting to leadership position, there's less females to kind of pick from as candidates. You're now obviously in the leadership field within engineering. I guess what influenced you to stay in a career in tech?
I think I was incredibly lucky to be in what was probably quite a diverse organisation when I started. The company that I started out with, it was started by a couple of mathematicians out of UQ, and we built journey planning software. I think you'll find that in maths there are actually a reasonable number of women. So when I started at that company, who also employed a lot of mathematicians, I didn't feel like an only, which I think is fairly common in our industry. It can be quite isolating. So I think I was very fortunate that I did join an organisation where there was a reasonable amount of gender diversity. It was still, you know, more men than women.
Yeah, but you could look left or right and hopefully see someone that looked like you.
Absolutely.
And I guess for you, like, what advice would you have to developers and engineers that are wanting to kind of progress in their career and I guess step away from the tools a bit more and be more in that strategic management and people management position?
Yeah. So I think there's lots of opportunities as a developer, as an individual contributor, to sort of dip your toe in the water. So I mean, I certainly started taking on a team lead role. I really enjoyed that task coordination and, you know, coordinating delivery. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. But it allowed me to sort of, you know, see what that was like whilst still remaining on the tools. Once you move into that people management, it's a slightly bigger leap. And I think it's something I would certainly encourage people to give it a go. But if it's not for you, that's okay.
What has been your biggest tech fail?
My biggest tech fail, so I think this was probably not too long after my first engineering management position. We had a really keen developer who built a standalone solution to solve a customer problem. Our product manager got incredibly excited by what they built and sold it many times over, and it was a prototype. Yeah. It wasn't production ready. So we kind of had a prototype go live, and there were a lot of learnings from that. I would count that as a fairly significant failure, because it took us a long time to recover from that. Just, you know, the technology choices that we'd made, that they were appropriate for a proof of concept, they weren't really appropriate for something that we were going to run in production. So that was a really massive learning. So I'm quite purposeful now when we're prototyping, just to realise that there is quite a significant gap between building a prototype and having something that's ready for production.
Tech trends, what are you most excited about at the moment in terms of emerging technologies and trends?
Trends that I'm interested in and excited about are probably just as much cultural as technical. So I'm really loving the increased focus within organisations on diversity, equity and inclusion. I love seeing companies that have chief diversity officers, and we're starting off a pretty significant program of work in that area at Skedulo. I think that's wonderful. I think that businesses are starting to appreciate that it's not just the right thing to do, but it's actually very beneficial to businesses, particularly when you're working in a product development organisation, and having that diversity does actually help you build a better product. So I'm loving seeing that.
Is yogurt a solid or a liquid?
Liquid.
Oh, here we go. Discuss.
I was going to say semi-solid.
Oh,
I was going to sit on the fence.
Yeah. You got a science background.
If you could learn any instrument, what would it be?
Oh, piano. I love piano. My daughters play piano, and I desperately would love to learn.
If you could create a COVID travel bubble with just one country in it, what would it be?
Italy, because I love food and I love that country.
Food, wine and nice views.
What else
do
can
you
you
need
ask
in the country?
for?
You give up your career in tech today and you have to go train for the 2032 Brisbane Olympics. Mm-hmm. What's your sport?
Gymnastics. I like the look of gymnastics,
Who's playing you in a movie version of your life?
Ooh, Kate Blanchett. I love her. Yeah.
And the final question, what do you love about having a career in tech?
The way that it's always changing and you're always learning. It never stands still. You are never ever bored. I don't think I've ever had a boring day. There's always something new, there's always something to learn, there's always a new problem to solve. And there's just such great variety of roles, which I think is awesome.